These are the plaintiffs, Daniel DeForest and his son, Daniel DeForest. Daniel DeForest says his son Daniel rented an apartment from the defendant. But when he moved in with his ferret, there was a problem. The defendant said the ferret stunk. He told him he was allergic to it. He moved out, and now the louse won't return the security deposit he's withholding. They're suing for $2,400 for their security plus a listing fee. This is the defendant, Mike. He says the plaintiff's son never mentioned he'd be bringing his ferret to the apartment to live with him, and the listing specifically says no pets. His entire house smelled like a stinky kennel. The thing goes to the bathroom 12 times a day, and his face blew up because of an allergic reaction to the mangy thing. Owe him a refund? No way. He's accused of being in a smelly situation.
All parties, please use your right hand. The People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Leon is now presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, Your
Okay. Daniel and Daniel DeForest, you are suing Mr. Mike for $2,400, $1,200 the return of your security deposit, and another $1,200 refund of the listing agent fee. Because according to you, he breached the contract. Who wants to talk to me? Go ahead, Dad.
We contacted the listing agent about the apartment. They brought us in to meet Mike. At lease signing, we asked about the ferret. He said he was
Had
okay.
the ad said no pets?
I honestly don't remember.
Do you have the ad?
Yes, it should be.
Can you hand me the ad?
This is the.
How did you learn about the apartment?
On Facebook Marketplace, I saw it listed.
Not pet friendly, no pets, please. I don't know where this is though. Where is that?
That's Facebook Marketplace.
Okay. All right. So in any event, according to you though, when you meet, do you talk about the ferret?
Yes, I asked before we signed the lease because he didn't want to move unless he could bring his ferret with him.
All right. You talk to me about what a ferret is.
They're a weasel. They're a skinny little animal. They're very sweet and all that. They like to play a lot. Just cute, tiny little furry animal.
And you've had that ferret for how long?
2 years now.
Okay. And how old are you?
I am 24.
Okay. And you're moving out of Staten Island to Pennsylvania?
Correct.
Right. So you're trying to get him situated before you go, because...
Correct.
All right. So was the ferret mentioned before the signing of the lease?
He mentioned that he found a ferret in PA. So I had no idea that he was going to be bringing that animal into my apartment.
And according to you, that's just a lie?
Yes.
Because you're not only discussing it with the listing agent, you're also talking to him?
Because all three of us, well, four of us, the listing agent, him, me, and my son, were at the apartment for the lease signing. And before I signed it, we asked him, because I wanted to make sure it was going to be okay, he has a ferret that he wants to keep. And Michael asked, what is a ferret? You know, and we explained it's a small animal, stays in a cage, you take it out, you play with it, you put it back in its cage.
Yeah, sounds great, right? Until you've actually had a ferret.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, until you smell it.
Right. Because ferrets are...
You have a
No offense, man,
reaction.
but you're not even allowed to have a ferret in the state of New York. Did you know that?
That's correct.
no, not until he had mentioned it to me that it's illegal, but...
Who had mentioned to you that it was illegal? The defendant? Or
Yes.
your son? Okay. So did you actually look it up to see if he was right?
No, honestly.
Yeah, you did. So you know that it's illegal
no, honestly,
now, right?
I didn't.
Okay, but you guys know I'm telling you it's illegal, and
Okay.
you probably already know that, because the minute somebody tells you it's illegal, the first thing you're going to do is take 10 seconds and Google it, right? I'm looking at you, Daniel. Yeah, I know. All right, so now, according to you, they sneaked the ferret in, and how do you learn that there's a ferret down there?
By the smell.
And
Strictly by the smell, and also by allergic reaction that I had gotten on my face from the...
So then when I read the text, it should look like this. What have you got down there? I'm having an allergic reaction. I'm very allergic to animals. What have you got down there? Right? Except for it doesn't, right? It doesn't read like that. It reads like there was a conversation about the ferret. It's just that the ferret's a lot more than you can handle.
The plaintiff says his son rented an apartment from the defendant, but when he moved in with his pet ferret, the guy turned around and kicked him out. The defendant says the plaintiff never mentioned he had a pet ferret, and now his place still smells like a stinky kennel. Let's listen.
There was a conversation brought up because I didn't know he was bringing it, so that's why I asked, is the ferret in this house? Because
Well, that's later. We're going to see the first thing you say about the ferret. Let's talk about that.
And I am, I understand about PTSD. My sister has PTSD, and PTSD is mini horses and dogs that are allowed to have.
Okay, well, you're
So
saying
P-
that why? Because at some point you're trying to keep the ferret, so you say PTSD?
I'm not sure, but did he? I'm not
Stop
sure if he
talking. I'm
purchased
talking to
it.
him.
There is a valid point with it. I did go to basic training in 2018. It didn't go so very well, and
Okay. You still can't have a ferret. Like
It's
it doesn't
illegal in New York.
Okay, no one's asking your opinion. I don't need you to mansplain my job. Still
Sorry,
can't have a
Judge.
ferret, okay? So it's a problem, like you can't parade the ferret, can't, you're not supposed to have a ferret. It's considered unsanitary. Can you have a ferret in Pennsylvania?
I believe so.
Well, you gotta look it up. You
I
can't,
can have a pet deer, so I assume I can have a pet ferret.
I don't know. In any event, the smell, when do you first feel the smell?
As soon as the animal entered into my home.
Which was on the day he moves in?
No, he was doing some construction, painting. So it was 15 days that had no smell, and then I started to smell it when he actually moved.
So when
in.
was it that he brought the ferret in, do you know?
In, I think, April 15th or 16th is when I
Okay.
started to smell it, not knowing that
So
the
do
ferret
you
was there.
say to him, okay, so when I'm looking at the text
yeah.
between you guys, you don't sound surprised about the ferret. You sound like this might be something you guys had discussed before.
Yes, I have discussed it.
Okay. And you say to them, I tried a few different things to prevent the smell from going through. Like, it's not like a shock to you. Okay, but nothing's working. It's a heavy smell that I've never had in my house before, and it's going right through the walls and through the ventilation system. Could get damage with that smell and get dander. I have an allergic reaction to it, so please have the animal stay by your house. Thank you. Hate to be that guy, but it smells really bad. I wouldn't say this. I'm an easy-go-lucky guy. I'm literally getting a headache. I appreciate you. My uncle is going to enter the apartment because I'll have a bad reaction. I can't go in Friday, so he'll put the seal, blah, blah, blah. And then you start to, I can't have this smell, and then you have stinky. Do ferrets smell bad? Okay, not a problem. I'm not home right now, but I'll pick it up in the morning. Who are these texts with, the dad or the son?
Daniel.
They're both Daniel, the dad. Okay. And then it goes into the deposit
Yes,
issue.
that's right.
When I saw the text between you and the son when he's telling you, I have some PTSD, and you were like, look, it's not that I'm unsympathetic to that.
Correct.
I have a sister with this issue, and I understand. I just can't handle the smell. So at some point, he says, let's go our own ways, right? It seems everybody decides it's a better idea. They go their own way, and they want the security deposit back. Why are you keeping the security deposit?
Because he broke the contract.
By doing what?
By bringing an illegal animal into my home.
So I would have to believe that you had no idea that the ferret was coming.
He said he found a ferret in Pennsylvania. Ask him if he bought or purchased or show proof that he purchased the ferret.
Why?
Because if he purchased the ferret, he wouldn't have found it. If he purchased it in Staten Island, and he would,
Where did you get the ferret? Did you buy it from a store? Did you?
I found her on my block in Staten Island. She was loose. We tried finding an owner for a couple weeks. No one replied back to us. I tried through Reddit, Facebook, tried going around.
How long
a little
ago?
bit. Well, 2 years ago I found her, so it would have been
Yeah.
quite a few.
Okay.
Would have been a while
Right.
actually before all this.
There we go.
Yeah, no, but it wasn't purchased.
So what? What does that have to do with anything? The question is, I think what happened is this. You didn't know what a ferret was. You asked him what a ferret is. It sounded like a hamster. So everything was going to be fine. That's what happened. And then it wasn't fine because they stink and they go to the bathroom 1,000 times a day. And New York finds them to be rodents and you can't keep them as pets. And New York, I get all that. Yeah. All right. But how does that entitle you to keep the security deposit? The security deposit is for damages. If they had done, even if they had brought in an illegal pet, you would have to show damage from that for you to be able to keep the security deposit.
So the bodily injuries to my face has that.
Okay, so let's talk about that. What was the bodily injury to your face?
I had a severe rash from the dander, and I had to leave my house. I had to leave my home in order until the smell dissipated. It was there for I don't know how long. This stunk.
Okay, so you had to leave your home for how long?
I wasn't there for days, and all my windows were open to get the smell out. I had to have a HVAC guy come in.
Okay, show me the receipt from the HVAC guy.
I don't have the HVAC.
Okay, that's the kind of thing you prove here.
Yes,
if you can show me I had to fumigate, I had to do this, I had to do that, then you show me those receipts.
Not getting that.
Well, yeah, because then if you don't have that, you can't keep the security deposit. But let's talk about, because you do have, this is a terrible picture. Good Lord. Okay, so that's from the ferret?
Yes.
Because do you have like a severe allergic reaction to all animals or certain animals?
Pretty much all animals.
So why'd you let him have the ferret to begin with?
I just didn't think he was going to bring it to my apartment. I thought he was going to keep it at his pop's in PA. I did not know.
Are you still maintaining that you didn't know he brought a ferret into the apartment?
I'm just maintaining that because I didn't know. If I said I don't want any pets because of these allergic reactions, why would I want him to bring a ferret into my house? Because look at my face. I
don't know. Like, I just wish that I could
I wish I would have got the HVAC.
Well, definitely that. But that I don't care. If you didn't bring it, I don't care either. But I wish that I had the testimony of Lorraine on whether this was discussed beforehand.
And she had discussed coming, and I should have brought her.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because I got two people saying it was discussed. I got texts that look like it was discussed. Because it's not, what the heck do you have down there? I told you no animals. There's nothing like that. You're super apologetic because you're a nice guy. And you're real like, oh, man, I don't want to be that guy. Well, what does that mean? That means that guy that gave permission and then is withdrawing it. So, but you're like, you sound like you gave permission. And I'm finding that you gave permission. It just turns out that you then find out it's illegal and you then find out it's stinky and you then find out that this happens and stuff. So here's the thing. If they brought it in illegally, yeah.
Yeah.
But if they brought it in with permission, if I feel in my gut that they brought it in with permission, then they did the right thing just like you did by saying, all right, let's call it quits and let's move our own way. So you'd have to show me damage to be able to keep that security deposit. One of the first things you say to them is, oh, the tiles are broken. But according to you, those tiles were broken well beforehand.
I was unaware of those tiles that were broken prior. And if so, did he take pictures before to show that?
Yeah, whenever you move, and you did.
I did.
Because he actually has video of the tiles and he sent them to you.
Like I said.
Right, and that's a good move because whenever you rent a place, the first thing you do is you take pictures of absolutely everything that's wrong, even if you don't want it fixed, and you send it to the landlord by email so you can prove you did it the day you moved in, and you say, look, if you fix this and this, that's great. You don't have to fix the other stuff. I just don't want to be blamed for it. That's always what you do. You happen to have done that. Like you took video, and like video is in there of it when you're trying to show the damage to the windowsill, which he's talking about, the other tenant and all the stuff like that. But at one point you say, is it the ferret's cage that did that? But a ferret's cage is how big?
No, it's tremendous.
It's decently sized, but
like how big? How big is a ferret's cage?
3 floors.
Probably about this wide, about this.
How
height,
tall?
And about.
Oh, it is pretty tall because you want to give the ferret room to.
Yeah, she needs to be able to run when
Yeah, I don't know.
About 30 pounds.
It's like a crack throughout several tiles, and it looks like it took a while to get there. I don't think anybody truly believes that that's their fault. All right, you're also suing for the $1,200 from the listing agent. Why would he have to pay you that back?
I thought that because he changed his mind about having the ferret, that the money I am out, and I didn't even ask for all the money I'm out. There was another $600 for the 15 days that we were moving in and paying.
Well, but he lived there for those days, right?
Right. Well, Yes, he was
Yeah,
there
I
for
mean,
for
you
a
guys
couple
were
of
renting
days.
it for
Right,
the-
no, I
yeah.
understand that. So I didn't ask for that. I didn't ask for the money for the paint, the money for the supplies, or anything like that. I just felt that that's what we were out to
Right.
go find
Here's the
another
thing,
place.
though. Let's say that he gave you permission.
Right.
And then he finds out that it's illegal,
Okay.
and also that he can't live like this, right?
Welcome back to the People's Court. I'm Harvey Levin. The question in this case, did the defendant really have an allergy that made him allergic to ferrets, or is the plaintiff the one who was hiding the fact that he had a ferret from the landlord? Let's go back into the courtroom and find out.
See, you can have an animal until you can't. Like if the animal bites the neighbors, or the animal turns out to be illegal, or the animal is affecting his happiness and welfare and enjoyment of his property, that's when, support animal or not, it has to go. So he didn't do anything wrong either, and I don't think he's responsible for the $1,200. Okay. It's going to be really hard for you to find. Did you find an apartment for him here in New York? You can't unless he gives up the ferret.
No, we have not.
Okay, you are on record right now knowing it's illegal, so you need to know that this is an issue. Okay. I am going to order the return of the security deposit, the $1,200, which was originally all you had really asked for.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. But not of the listing agent. Verdict for the plaintiffs. Good luck, everybody.
Okay. Thank you.
So the plaintiff is going to get his security deposit back. That's $1,200, not the $2,400 he was hoping to get. Let's see what Mike, the house owner, has to say about this. Mike, what's your reaction?
I had no problems giving him his $1,200 security deposit back, but for $2,400, I just feel that for me getting caused the damage of bodily harm, and I also had it in contract that I did not want any animals in my apartment, I wouldn't even be here because it was a misprint of the contract. So therefore, if I said I am allergic to animals, and if you're bringing an animal in and I'm causing to have an outbreak, now, if I had that printed, it didn't misprint, we wouldn't be here, and I wouldn't have to pay anything.
You know, it's interesting. You have that reaction. Do you have a reaction like that to other animals?
Yes,
Other than ferrets?
gander, yes, cats, dogs. Yeah.
That's kind of
correct.
tough.
Very bad allergies as well.
You're missing out on a relationship with pets. A
Yes,
dog
I
or
am.
Something, and that's tough. All right, I feel sorry for you, but anyway, you do have to give them the security deposit back, and they're out of your hair for now, right?
That's correct.
Okay. All right, so let's see what the father and son team, both of them named Daniel DeForest. What's your reaction to the judge's verdict, Daniel?
I'm happy with it. I wasn't sure about the real estate fee, but I figure if you don't ask, you can't find out.
Let me ask you something. Mike complained intensely about the smell. Do you notice the smell bother you guys? Don't you notice it or not?
Yes, a little bit. I smell a ferret, but you know, it is what it is. It goes in a little box.
But you would say it's not as bad as he claimed. What about you, Daniel?
I have
Daniel,
no problems with
two.
it. I make sure to take care of her and keep everything as clean as possible to minimize it, and I don't mind it at all, and it's not bad. It's not that strong.
Did you bathe the ferret?
You can bathe them once a year. Give a little oat
Once
bath.
a year?
Yeah.
Whoa, it's not much.
It's not much, but if you can, as long as you keep the cage clean and everything else clean, they usually are pretty good.
Well, listen, you've been warned they're illegal, apparently in New York State, so how about it? You know? Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Well, congratulations. You get your security deposit back, and that'll do it.
That's all
Okay?
we asked for originally was the security deposit.
Very good. And you got it. You're
Right.
going to get it.
Right.
All right. Thank you very much, and good luck now.
All
Good
right.
luck with your ferret.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hope he lives a long life.
Thanks.
All right. Harvey?
Well, Doug, dealing with, landlords, tenants, and pets has really been a sticking point we've dealt with over and over in the People's Court. You should simply declare it in the lease. Make it clear if you're bringing a dog, a cat, or a ferret into the apartment. If you don't do it, I am telling you, you think you're going to get away with it 9 times out of 10, it, along with the pet, could come back to bite you.
If I have bad credit, do you suggest I close out store cards to minimize the amount of credit cards I have?
Why do we have so many credit cards, by
Why
the
do
way?
you and I have?
Yes. I would say yes. I would try to close
Because
out.
I can't resist a bargain. And every time I apply for another credit card, I get like another 50,000 frequent flyer points, or I get
But then you
20%
get the
off the purchase that day.
aggravation,
I
and
know.
You've got the extra statements rolling in, and
I know.
credit card debt is a thorn in a lot of people's sides, because I mean right now the average APR, the percentage rate of interest they're charging, is around 19%, and it's going up because we've had a lot of inflation lately. Interest rates are headed up, so that can cost you a lot of money. If you're carrying carry money,
you should close them.
Yeah, if you're carrying money month to month, let's say you have a $2,000 balance and you're paying like 30 or 40 or 50 bucks a month to just keep it going. It might take you 5 years to pay it down at that rate, and you're going to end up paying over $1,000 in interest. So simplify your life. That's my advice. Because imagine in our household.
Because the way she got bad credit is not being able to make payments.
Right.
So if you can't make payments, don't have so many credit cards.
Right. And you know, you have to, every month, you're constantly scrutinizing these statements, trying to figure out where the fraud is, because sometimes there's fraud. A lot of people are getting stung by that at the point of sale, by other people scamming, getting their cards, etc. So, I don't know. It's just,
I scrutinize them. You never scrutinize them.
Well, I scrutinize them when you throw them in my lap and you go, hey, you've highlighted it with arrows pointing at
That's
you.
not scrutinizing. I brought them to your attention to see if you made those purchases.
Right.
Right.
And I usually say, yeah.
Right. That's not scrutinizing the bill.
All right, well, it's not a lot.
And half the time I need to check and see if any of our children, because they have what is called an emergency card.
Right.
But they have
which they don't really use only for emergencies.
No, they have a hell of a definition of what an emergency is.
Like, for example, the costume that
Christy bought a costume for her cat, whose name was Ruth, that she got on the year Ruth Bader Ginsburg died.
Right.
In Halloween, the month Ruth Bader Ginsburg died.
Right.
And she dressed her kitty as Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Right.
And I found it on my credit card. I said, what is the meaning of this? You explained to me how it's an emergency. And her response was, explain to me how it's not. Which I thought was pretty funny, and I got a good laugh over it. But I made her Venmo me the 20 bucks or whatever it was.
What cat doesn't need a
Ruth Bader Ginsburg costume
for Halloween?